Well, I'm thrilled to have you both on the podcast. I think you're both a delight. You're both so funny.
Oh,
So funny.
You
thank
are a
you.
delight,
Walk
Joe.
around my
Yeah.
Yeah,
neighborhood.
you are.
The amount of times I walked around my neighborhood listening to your podcast, like going for walks, stretching my legs, and be like laughing. People looking at me like, why are you laughing so hard?
Oh,
So I've
That's
enjoyed
really
it.
nice of you to say. Thank you.
yeah,
You're so
thank you
welcome.
so much.
You're so welcome. I'm super, super thrilled to be able to talk to you and geek out about Lore Olympus a little bit. So my first
Yeah.
question is, when you saw the announcement that Lore Olympus is ending, how did you feel? Where were you? Take me back to that moment.
Whew, Erin, you want to go first?
Sure. First, I mean, it was in some ways it was one of those things that we knew was coming, but we were in denial about. Because Rachel had said season 3 was going to be the last season, like this year was going to be the last year. So we knew it was coming, but it did feel like when it was announced that it was like it's ending and it's ending now, and it was like, no, like you don't understand how much of my life is built around this podcast, or sorry, is built around this comic, which then is built and then made this podcast that we're also building life around. Like, yeah, so very surreal. I saw it on Instagram, and like immediately Zoe and I were texting, being like, "Fuck, fuck, 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 fuck." Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
even know if
Wait,
we can swear on your
yeah,
You can
sorry. Do you want me to take
swear.
that again? Sorry.
No, no, no. Swear away. You're okay.
Okay, sorry.
so like
We're
it's
chaos
an
is our
instinct.
brand.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I had a similar experience. What about you, Zoe?
Yeah, very similar. I feel like honestly, it was sort of a similar like okay, I'm so excited for Rachel, right? And it's a beautiful like time to
Yeah.
end the series, but it sort of gave me the same type of existential dread that I felt like I experienced when I was graduating college, where I was like, "Oh my God, like a big part of my life is coming to an end." And also like
Mm-hmm.
I thrive on structure and I thrive on
Mm-hmm.
being busy. And like given that our podcast
Yeah.
is concluding with the conclusion of the comic, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have like 10 hours a week now that I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. So, yeah, definitely had a lot of feelings.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a wave of emotion, a wave of feelings. And I remember just like one, feeling sad that I was going to lose like the weekly updates, right? But then two,
Mm-hmm.
relieved that Rachel doesn't have to do the weekly updates for more years of her life. So she can
Oh
take,
my God.
right? And then
Strong
Yeah.
agree.
it was like, and then three, like excitement because like I will know how it ends, but also
Yeah.
sadness, I will know how it ends. So I couldn't feel like one way or another. It was really difficult to balance.
Yeah, I'm taking some comfort in the fact that there is always an infinite amount of fanfic I can read. So if I feel like I really need a new fix, like there's something out there. I can stay with these characters in a different way, but yeah, I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
And
you
yeah, I am, to piggyback off what you said, like I can't even imagine the amount of work that goes into a single episode of this comic, like the art and the writing and the like I don't know how Rachel was producing one of these chapters every single week. Like that's so wild. So yeah, agreed that like thank God she gets to not drive herself into the ground with this.
yeah, no, this is a huge piece of work. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine, but it's been a long time coming. Lore Olympus
Yeah.
is ending, and I'm curious, like, what drew you to Lore Olympus in the first place? Like, how did you discover it? Take me back to that moment as well.
Yes. So, I mean, shout out to Facebook ads because that's how I found it. And like, my algorithm has never been more on point because it was correct. I did want to read this. And then I forced Erin to read it as I do with all
True.
media that I enjoy.
Ah,
And yeah, I was thinking about this because, like, in trying to think, like, what it was about the comic itself that really drew me in, I almost have a hard time pinpointing a specific thing, but I feel like that's actually a really high compliment. Like, it
mm-hmm.
was the art and the story and the characters and, like, the unique visuals and like it just I don't know, just all of it really worked for me and I binged. It was at the time it was right when Minthy and Hades had just had that big fight at the office where she slaps him.
Yes.
And I remember like binging all the way through that and being like, oh my God, this is the cliffhanger. Like, this is torture. So yeah.
Yeah, Zoe accurately described my inciting event with Lore Olympus, which is that Zoe was like, you have to read this. And I was like, okay. And I binged it all at work in like one day. Sorry, old boss. If you're listening. But it and it was only like a few episodes after where Zoe had left off. So getting caught up in the comic was like such a huge letdown because you're like, no, like, and yeah, it's also wild that was so comparatively early in the podcast or in the comic. And that like we've just been ever since then for the last like 150 chapters or whatever, like waiting week by week, which I just feel like is not an experience that we have with a lot of different media anymore. So very cool.
Very cool. Yeah, for me, I felt like, so wait, did you guys download the app Webtoon to consume Lore Olympus? That was like what you for. That is so cool.
Yes.
I think it was an ad that got me as well for Siren's Lament to get to Webtoon. It's an ad for the Instant Miso. And it was on maybe YouTube. And I was like, what is this? This kind of looks like the manga I used to read when I was younger. My friends would bring their little cool. And so I clicked on it and I was obsessed. And I think I binged most of Siren's Lament. And then at some point I started the podcast because I went to a program out here in Los Angeles where you mentor young girls who are writers. And they were reading the same comic I was reading, which was I Love You. And about which team we were on. And we like both had different love interests for the main character that we wanted. So we were like arguing back and forth. And I was like, I have not had a chance to talk to anybody about Webtoon. Anybody. I don't know anybody who's reading this. And so then I think I started the podcast and maybe someone suggested Lore Olympus to me. Maybe I found it on my own. I cannot remember. But I also remember binging whatever was available and being hooked, completely hooked. It's like, this is everything. And even recently, I'm in a choir and I had a roommate. We stay at like a hotels and we have choir retreats and stuff. And I was like, if you want something to read tonight, download the app Webtoon and look at Lore Olympus. And then I woke up the next morning, she's like, I didn't sleep. I read all of it.
Wow.
That's amazing. I had a kind of similar experience because I have all of the print releases of Lore Olympus that have been released so far. And my husband's brother and his girlfriend came to stay with us, and she was looking for something to read and read all of the volumes in one night and was like, I read all of that. I need more. And I was like, well, luckily there is more and you can have it.
Yes, there's more. Oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. I'm jealous.
I know. Me too.
Yeah. Oh, to reread it for the first time again. What a magical experience.
I know. It was so good. Okay, so that's what drew you to Lore Olympus. Can we talk about our favorite Lore Olympus moments ever? What comes to mind when you're just like, oh, I love this moment. When I think of Lore Olympus, I think of this moment and how beautiful it was.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about this. So I feel like we have like answers at the ready. I want to start by saying the end of season 1, like that sequence of like 3 or 4 chapters, every single one is a masterpiece. Like every single one is the best thing I've ever read. But then there's also like, I feel like I'm really drawn to the moments of like friendship in the comic. I feel like Rachel does friendship so well, and it feels like such a rich payoff for all of these characters who we care about individually to see them caring about each other. Like specifically, the 2 ones that come to mind, I love Hades and Hecate's friendship. So like the episode where they're like going through all the pawn shops and looking for Persephone, I love that one. And then the episode right when Hades and Persephone are reunited after the Great Divide, and they have like the queens are going and getting ready together, and Hades and his friends are getting ready, and they're like helping each other get ready for each other. I love that. It's so sweet and wonderful.
Those are so good.
Yeah. I second everything Zoe said. I have far too many of these, so stop me if I go on too long. I think like a lot of the like slow burn romance stuff are top tier, top tier. Like when Persephone gets trapped in Tower 4 and Hades has to go save her, that's really god tier level stuff. I also really appreciated, I really enjoyed all of the moments of like violence and anger from our characters who are normally so lovely in our understanding of them. So like I was thinking about this is one that I forgot when Zoe and I were talking about this the other day. I love the part where Hades and Hecate like are gleefully about to tear out that reporter's eye. Like that is so like that's so interesting. It's such an interesting take on these characters. I also loved Persephone's act of wrath. I loved her turning Minthi into a plant, not because necessarily I really enjoy the violence, but because it added such interesting layers to these characters. I also I am a vengeance girly, and when when Hera got to murder Cronus, and then at the end he was trying to bare his soul to her, and she was like, "I don't care."
Amen.
That
Amen. Amen.
that elevated me to the next plane of existence. I left my mortal coil and ascended. That was so good. And then also
Strongly agree.
Yeah, so good. I'm trying to, oh shoot, there was one more that I really wanted to mention. Oh, and all of the stuff about Hades and the tape and the yearning and all of that.
Love a good yearning.
We love a yearn. I love the Daphne Thanatos plotline. Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna list everything about the comic.
We're Olympus. You're like, every arc was my favorite arc.
Yes, accurate.
That's how I feel.
That is correct.
Some of the ones you guys mentioned, I really, oh my gosh, I loved when Persephone was trapped in Tower 4 and then had a little Cinderella shoe moment. I think that was part was taken. That was when I was
incredible.
Here for years reading this comic.
Just the hug. They're just hugging, but it's feeding me. It's fueling my core. It's just incredible.
It's watering my crops on the most fundamental cellular level. I am being nourished.
Right? It's just so beautiful. It was so good. And then I also loved when we first saw Persephone as the Dread Queen with her pointy, strapless dress and her crown.
Iconic.
And it was on multiple TV screens. It was iconic. It was one of the most gripping images I had seen. And that was this is what's going to come. This is the future. And it was just really, I remember being really taken away by that. And then in the later episodes, kind of near the ending, I really, really love that I don't care moment from Hera as well.
Oh, could not be improved.
God.
Well, because we saw from the beginning to the end how she was kind of roped into being the one to trick him, how people called it, how it's changed her position in society. And then after all that, he's been haunting her and ruining her life.
So rude. It's honestly so disrespectful. I hate him.
I hate him.
And we are such Hera stans. She could do no wrong in our eyes.
Amen.
So then were you freaking out when she had a vision that she was going to die? How much did you believe that could happen at the time?
I was like, Rachel would not do me like that. She would not do that to me. To me personally, she would not do that.
Even though I acknowledge that it was conceivable, I just knew that for my mental health, it was better to live in denial. And so that was my course of action.
Firm agree.
I didn't even go there.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's so funny. I'm also a Hera stan. I really love her. I've loved her for a long time. Any episode that's about her are some of my favorites. She had one called Once I Was a Goddess. And it's just her talking about, her life and how she feels. And anytime she's in the mirror and you see the scars, and I'm just like,
I know.
I'm with you. I love her so much.
And you know what else I love? Hera obviously is a fashion icon, and anytime she wears like
Amen.
a midriff showing outfit where you can see her scars and she's just like, these make me more badass. Go fuck yourself.
Amen.
Like, I love that. It's
Mhm.
iconic.
It's so good.
Amen.
It's been, I'm like, I feel, once again, feel elated and also feel sad.
Yeah.
I'm going through the emotions of still processing because it's not technically over because the last episode at the time of this recording hasn't come out yet publicly.
Mhm.
So it feels like it's still going. But, ideally, things go right in the TV world and we get to see an animated series. And then you can podcast about that perhaps.
God willing, oh my God. I am on the edge of my seat waiting for news about the TV show. So we'll
Same.
see.
Yeah, as far as we know, it's still in the works and it could still happen. TV is a very unpredictable landscape that I've chosen as my profession. I don't know what to tell you. Like sometimes they say, oh yeah, like before we went on strike, they were like, the show that you're writing on, I was writing on a show called Good Trouble. And they were like, it's definitely coming back for season 6. Prepare yourself after the strike. You like write a cliffhanger, you guys. They told the whole writer's room.
Oh my
And then
God.
we came back from strike and they're like, you are canceled. And
Oh,
Oh my God.
10-year show in like 10 minutes, please, at the dinner table with all
oh,
the thank you. So like when we complain about TV like not being good,
oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
Oh my God. I'm
Whew.
so sorry. That's so stressful and also devastating. Oh my God.
Yeah.
there's a lot to process. And I'd had another show in development and they also passed on that when we came back.
Oh,
There's
Oh
like
God.
the industry's in a recession right now. So I'm like on my knees begging and praying that Lore Olympus can make it through this part of the industry where like most of my friends are unemployed so that it
Oh
can
God.
I really want it to happen. And because it's animated, hopefully it will, more so than like a live action show, because a lot of those are going. So fingers crossed that we have more to talk about, because that's a whole new journey. That's more years of our life watching Lore
oh my
Olympus.
God.
And thank God.
Yes, like
Yeah, we're going to be putting good thoughts into the universe. Constant stream, constant stream.
I feel like you two should do a reaction series like on YouTube to the episodes whenever they come out, like live reactions, pausing, screaming. I would watch it and
Wait, that would be
it was
so fun.
That
Honestly,
would be
my
so
only
fun.
hesitation is that, like, they need to be highly edited sometimes. Like, sometimes we say things and we just forget we're saying them into a microphone, and it's like, oh, we should not have said that person's full government name into this microphone or whatever, you know? So,
Yeah, our filters are not very good. Well, my filter is especially bad internally. So Zoe needs to do a lot of filtering after the fact.
thing to consider for the future is like, yeah, maybe like an edited version of you guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
that would be great.
That'd be good. Okay, so let's talk about the ending of Lore Olympus. Were there any things that you really loved or felt super satisfied about? There was so much. There was so much in wrapping up this really long story.
I will go first.
Yeah, go first. I'm trying to not hog the mic.
I will hog it. I think that the Cronus plotline wrapped up like beautifully. I loved that both Hades and Hera got to destroy him. I loved that. As we've already discussed, I think Hera could not have been improved upon with her level of violence and apathy and cruelty to him. I think that was purely perfect. I think, Hades also showed us a model of healthy moving on, which is good. It's not
That's
my
nice for
it's
him.
not for me personally.
Yes.
But it was fun to read. So I think the whole like Cronus resolution was so good. I think Hera like coming into herself and like becoming a big fertility goddess. And like the fact that all of the fertility goddesses got to work together was also just very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Those are exactly the things I was gonna talk about.
Good.
Like, I love to see
Good.
like, I just feel like Hades and Hera's different approaches to the Cronus situation were so perfectly in line with their characters, and like I loved that. Like that was it was great. I also like, I mean, for in terms of the grand resolution of the romantic plot line where we see Hades and Persephone having their happily ever
Yeah.
after, like I'm so happy for both of them. I'm so happy for Persephone. Like everything's great. But like it especially hit a soft spot in my heart for Hades, just having seen his whole journey of always wanting a family and like seeing him get to have that and like be so it just warmed my heart.
His dream came true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with all of those moments. It was really satisfying to see all these giant women at the end.
Yes. Yes.
Women.
Giant women take over the world.
Giant
Yes.
taking over the world. And they were like getting progressively more giant as you went up generations, which I also enjoyed.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They are mother. And it was just really great. I really enjoyed the conclusion. And when my husband finished reading it, he was like, I think this was a story about like generational trauma and overcoming that and like breaking generational curses. And I was like, that's such a good insight because he binges it more than he reads weekly. He'll like wait till there's a bunch of episodes and then read them all in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is such a great takeaway from the whole story. And I can't wait to really sit down and reread it all, which will take a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be done in one day. Well, can it be done in 24 hours? Maybe. But if you were to sleep, I don't know if it can be
right. Sleeping and eating and going to the bathroom is for the weak. You have to sit down and commit.
You can sleep when you're dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, but no, I totally agree about the generational trauma thing. And I feel like that theme really came out in the like final plot line with Melanoe in it, where Hades was having these revelations of like, I never want to put this kind of thing on my child, and like it's messed up that my father put that on me. Like, I think there were a lot of nice ways that Rachel really tied that together.
Yeah, and kind of also going back to that, with like when Metis and Rhea came back, and everyone who was a child somehow of those fertility goddesses had such trauma around them, and like particularly Metis's relationship with Hera and Hestia and Demeter, so complicated. And so it was really beautiful that she got to come back and hopefully like heal some of that with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, totally.
Our final image was the family, and I'm gonna miss them so much. And
I know.
I want to see them like grow up a little bit. Oh yeah, like Dionysus was a teenager when we saw.
I need 90,000 fan arts of him. I need everyone on the internet to show me their fan art of him.
Like, I love him so much.
Yeah.
He's a little MVP.
He really is. He helped. He helped. He's like, I was there.
He was a big help.
Yep. He's like, I did my job.
He was at least a catalyst. You know, I don't know how much a newborn can help, but he certainly moved the plot along. So
he could put it on his resume though, you know, when jobs. He's like, I was there and I was a part of this.
Definitely. Lived experience.
Yeah. I gave Persephone the biggest heart attack in the world when I showed up in a monster's lair as a toddler.
Unsupervised. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so speaking of characters like Dionysus, like if you were to choose a character to have a spin-off and to just go deep into their world, there's so many to choose from. Like who are your top ones? Who do you feel like you would just be engrossed in their world?
I'm really intrigued by Artemis. I feel like Artemis, in my headcanon, has so much depth that could be fleshed out in my ideal world where I'm creator of the universe and I can decide what comic happens next. You know, like, I'd love to see her, like, fully stepping into the role of protector of young women and, like, whether that becomes vigilante justice or whether that becomes, you know, I don't even know how she would approach it, but I would love to see her do it. Like, I would love to see her, like, growing her relationship with Persephone and, like, you know, I don't know. I think she's really interesting.
I agree.
Yeah.
She's a great one.
Yeah, and I think kind of almost as a pair with Artemis in some ways, like I would really like to see more about Eris. I think she's fascinating. Like talk about someone who has a lot going on. And some of it is dark. Like I want to understand her better. I want to see her like get the love it seems like she's been denied for so much of her life. I want to see her like friendship with Artemis grow. I want to learn more about their friend who's just a puddle, like who was in that one chapter. I miss her. Like what is she doing? I also would like love to see a Dionysus spinoff. Like his myths are so fascinating, and like he was such an interesting little guy. I would love more about him.
Especially Rachel's interpretation of him. It's like,
Yeah.
I want to
A
know.
chaos monster. Yeah.
But with like Persephone raising you during your formative years, I wonder like how he would turn out.
Right. Like
Yeah.
good. You would have to be good. Like
You would think
A
so.
little unpredictable, but yeah.
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 Did anyone come and bless him with some like different attributes
Right.
with a little baby?
It's the question.
Yeah, I would love to see that too. And I think I could see Aphrodite having some interesting stories because she, especially early on in the series, you saw she was pretty complex. Like I remember her
Mhm.
with Zeus to get Eros out of trouble. I remember,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at first really hating Psyche, but then being more helpful toward her. So like she has her layers, and I think I
Mhm.
like really into some of those myths being told from a Lore Olympus perspective. Like I could see Aphrodite having some interesting stories too.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think Aphrodite is one of the characters who we came to appreciate more and more over the course of the comic. Like you said, like she has so many layers. She's so complicated and she's so flawed in a way that makes her very real and very relatable. Um and yeah, I would love to see more about her. And as Zoe has been saying for a long time that she wants to see more of the love triangle. And yeah, that would be great.
It would be, yeah. No, that would be awesome. And then let's talk about the Lore Olympus merch that we all own and have. We all have the books. I'm assuming we all have the volumes. Yes.
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 What else we got? And what else do we want to get?
I mean, we're very materialistic individuals, so we
Amen.
want everything. Um, like one of my favorite items of clothing that I own is my Underworld Con hoodie. And I especially like to wear it to the airport. And every time I do, I'm like, maybe someone will see me in the airport and be like, do you read Lore Olympus? And then I can make a friend. But that has yet to happen. So if anyone ever sees me at the airport in my Underworld Con hoodie, come talk to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we both have a Team Persephone shirt.
Mm-hmm.
We have the little Kore Cobb pins, the like enamel pins. Those are
Yeah.
really cute. Yeah, I can't remember what else I have.
We
That
have
might
a
be it.
lot of like fan made Etsy stuff, like stickers and pins. And like one of our patrons was kind enough to make us crowns themed after mine is themed after Hera's, and
Yes.
Zoe's is themed after Hecate, which is like those are amazing. It's like one of my
Oh my
prized
god.
possessions. It's mine is like I don't know, hold on, I don't know if you can see it, but it's over on that. Hold on, we're going on the tour
Field trip.
here, hold on, I have to put my mic down. Okay, hold on. It's going poorly, but like it's so beautiful. It's like, can you see it? Yeah. Oh, we went
Yes.
into the corner. Okay, good.
It has like the peacock
I hope
feather
you
element.
saw
Oh,
it.
it's so nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's like I love it so much. um Yeah. Yeah. And we have like candles. We have a lot of random things that are Lore Olympus themed. But we would like more clothes. I think I speak for Zoe when I say that we are lobbying. Everyone
Yes.
join us in lobbying for a
Yes.
full Lore Olympus fashion line. That is what I want from the bottom of my heart. I want every outfit that was featured in this comic to be available for purchase. That's what I want.
Especially Hera and Persephone's. Like every single
Amen.
thing that Hera or Persephone wore, I would give my
I
life
want.
savings to wear. Yes.
I want it.
I was like thinking about it. I was like, I can't afford it. I want
Yeah.
it badly. Because some
Yeah.
of the dresses are like beautiful ball gowns, like gorgeous
Yeah.
long sleeves and bows. But I also
I'll
do
wear it to the grocery store. I don't care. I just want it.
My life savings for this grocery store ball gown. That's where we're at.
it's like I sell all my furniture and then I can have it. I'm just like, this is
Exactly. And then I'll have room to store it too. I'll just put it where the couch was. Fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also have the Underworld Con, and then Heroes and Villains has some merch, and I just saw they have a pre-order for this pink sweater that has really pretty sleeves, and it has Persephone in the center. I
Ooh.
knew. I just saw it and I had it saved on my computer for a long time. And then I was like, okay, the time is now. And I pre-ordered it and hopefully it'll come this summer. And I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
I have an animal
Nice.
like you have. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I have a friend gave me some stickers. And so I'm slowly building it. It's hard to know like how
Nice.
do I go out into the world with. Like you can't have it all at the same time, like your pins and your shirt and your
Yeah.
under your arm. I even have a Lore Olympus mask back when COVID was happening, and I think Webtoon was selling
Oh.
masks. So I have one of those, but it's like it's not for
Cool.
show, you know?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so that's exciting. We'll have to keep getting more stuff.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I as Zoe said, we are materialistic girls. Like I love stuff. I will, as long as they keep making it, I will keep being interested in purchasing it with the money that I do not have.
But I think you're onto something with the fashion line because the fashion is always on point. I would love just like a portion, even if they didn't do all the outfits, just like a selection of them would be
Yes.
incredible.
That one
Strongly
bodysuit,
agree.
that one bodysuit Hera wears.
The black one,
Amen.
mesh.
The
Yes.
black one.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Honestly, if there is a fashion line considering doing this and they're looking for consultants to pull out the top tier outfits
We have a
for them to
list.
prioritize, we're ready. We're ready. Reach out to us, lauralimpod@gmail.com.
Seriously though, like you're ready to curate and help with the fashion select.
Amen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to talk about your Lore Olympus cosplays. This is a good transition from fashion into cosplay. For people who are listening and hearing your voices for the very first time, can you talk them through the cosplays you've done already and the ones that you may be planning in the future, please?
Oh.
There are so many, Joe. Like, there are so many that, like, didn't even make it into the internet
Yeah.
because they're so bad. The thing to know about our cosplays, we're doing it for fun.
They're not
This
good.
is good. But we're having a nice time. We are two 30-year-old adults who are just having a nice time doing a bad job. And that's what it is. Yeah, Erin,
Doing
where
our
should
best,
we even
but it's
start?
still bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think maybe we do our best to start from the beginning with our semi understandable cosplays, which only got progressively more niche over time.
Yeah.
So like I think the first one we did was like I was Hades and Zoe was Persephone, and we were living together, and it maybe was during COVID, so we were really spiraling. And we like ordered a bunch of like really poor quality body paint and wigs and
like multi-packs.
Yeah, multi-packs. And like we are both very short. We're like, I am like maybe an inch taller than Zoe. So I had to like stand on a box or like a stool in all of the pictures that we took to try to emulate the height difference. And then I think that day we also did Nyx and Helios, and Zeus and Hera.
Yeah, we definitely did those the same day. Yeah.
And we alternated who was a man.
Yep.
And these are, I don't know if all of those made it to the internet. Like,
I'm confident the Zeus and Hera ones didn't. They were so excruciating. But also, was that series of cosplays before we did the Minty and Thetis ones for Halloween? Because those were actually almost acceptable.
That was a good one.
That's a good question. I don't know which came first, but the Minty and Thetis ones were actually low-key good. For us. On our scale, they were
by
great.
our standard. Exactly. Yeah.
We also like to be as slutty as possible for Halloween, so it really fit that goal well.
Teen girls,
yeah. Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
Halloween 4, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and then
we did the receptionist women who compliment Hades' ass that one time.
Mm-hmm.
We did
that one was horrible. That one was so bad. We did a terrible job, but we really tried.
But we had fun. I'm like, okay, rapid fire. Now we're getting into the unhinged ones. So we did a specific panel of the descent into Tartarus that's just like eyeballs and limbs in blackness. We did Sully the
Yep.
Banking Snake, obviously.
An
We
iconic.
did, yeah, we did two vertical halves of Hades as a moth. So like we just like smushed it together and we're each one wing.
And we didn't
did
discuss ahead of time. We didn't coordinate. So we each took our own vision of that. And it was two very different halves of a moth, which
right,
was very fun.
as
We
it should
also,
be.
wait, don't forget when we did Thetis, but specifically the one
Oh God.
like headcanon we have that Thetis did that one like stupid music video from Kimmy Schmidt where like all of the girlfriends like of these random rich men like do some stupid music video with an American flag. So we just did some like random rolling around on an American flag.
It's a good summation of that experience. Yeah. Um, oh yeah, and we did big sips, that like cup that for 70 drinks from, and we did two halves of that just our skeleton guy that Hades talks to in one panel. So it's been an eclectic mix.
Yes. And what else did I feel like there was one that we have talked about doing. I mean, we have like a running list of like kind of things that we would like to do. Oh, I am one of my like goals for this year is to knit or crochet that one outfit that Thetis wears like really early on. It's like it's like the second or third episode that we see her in. It's like a sweater top and like a mini skirt, and it's so cute. And my like goal that I probably won't reach for this year is to make a version of that for me and a version of that for Zoe. And then maybe we can be Thetis again, our most cosplayed character, Thetis. Oh, wait, Zoe, we forgot how one time we were Hades and baby Cronus, or not baby Cronus, Hades and baby Thanatos at a party with other people, and we were just, everyone else was in like normal costumes, and we were just like in face paint.
Slutty female Hades and slutty female baby Thanatos. And that's an important component. But yeah, Joe, you cosplayed Psyche. Have you done other Lore Olympus cosplays?
The only one, and I only did it because I saw you guys do one. I was like, oh man, they're so good. I was like, these are my heroes.
Oh, that is generous of you.
That's a nice lie.
The three of us are not professional cosplayers. We just have to make that understand. The people who are really good at cosplaying, we respect you.
Deeply.
We admire you, and we don't understand how you do it.
Yes.
This is like, I have till this day not attempted any face paint. I was like, well, Psyche looks like me to an extent, so here we go.
Honestly, it was really good.
It was really good.
It turned out well. Yeah.
It was a lot of work. I remember like going to Amazon, like finding an outfit that looked like what Psyche was wearing. It is pretty fun to do.
Yeah.
I assume like the two of you find a little screenshot that you like and then send it to the other and be like, this is the next one, this panel.
Exactly.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. That's fun. Yeah. I remember, I think I was most inspired at the time by your, I think, yeah, Minthy and Thetis together. And it was like, hey, bitch. Hey, I remember it was something like that.
Yeah.
It was so good. That's perfect. Because it was like the two people. It was really great.
Yeah. Thank you. That is definitely the best one we've done.
Yeah.
It was really good. And so, okay, what is next for your podcast? What is next in your life? What's coming up next?
It's a good question.
Is it in limbo right now? Are you still figuring it out?
So we felt like it was a natural time for the podcast to end. Like ultimately we are a podcast about Lore Olympus. Lore Olympus is ending. The podcast is following suit. We're, not like firmly shutting and locking and throwing away the key on the door to ever doing anything again if the TV show comes into fruition or whatever. But exactly what that would look like, if it like maybe wouldn't be a weekly thing. Like we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
All we know is that like we are not going to, like Rachel has said about the comic ending, like sometimes it's just time and you want to do what feels right.
Yeah.
In terms of what's next for us, I don't know. We're gonna have a lot of spare time that we have to figure out what we're doing with ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Friends will
And we
Wait, sorry, what'd you say?
I was saying your friendship will continue. At least you know that for sure. It's not over.
That is true. That is true.
That
We're
is
thinking
true.
about how we can because one of the things we loved about the podcast is like a mandatory reason to speak on the phone every week. So
Yeah.
we're trying
For
to be
like
like,
3 hours.
what? Exactly. So we're like, how can we provide ourselves that same kind of structure to mandate that we speak for 3 hours a week? So that's what we're working
Yeah.
on right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Zoe said, like if and when the TV show happens, like maybe we'll reconsider doing something. But like we're not making any definite anything at this time. Like it was like, okay, let's not force it. Let's like let it go. Also, like we both have jobs where we don't want people to listen to this podcast. And it was like, okay, this could be, we don't want to force it and, run the continued risk of people running into this podcast.
That is so funny. The more we continue down this path, if we keep going, it's bound to happen. So you want to get all you can.
It's like we've been lucky for 4.5 years. We're maybe pushing it. So
Right.
Okay, I take back my YouTube reaction suggestion because I think it would make you really popular if you were on the first YouTube reactors to Lore Olympus, wherever it may air, and like you're like episode 1 reaction. I swear you would get like 100,000 views.
oh
And
my
you
god.
would be someone who would.
Well, if we got enough views that we could quit our jobs,
There you go.
Right.
then it
Then
was a
anything's
different
fair game.
conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's true. Because you like have a built-in audience. I feel like people would come and watch, and then I don't know, the YouTube algorithm would like that, and then it could become a thing. So it's like that's on the back burner. A lot of things have to go right. Like it has to come out first.
Yeah.
Yes.
See where you are in your life to if you can do a reaction series to it. Because I would watch. I would be seated.
Aww.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you for believing in us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Both very talented and very funny. And I just see your passion for Lore Olympus. I could hear it coming through the podcast, your podcast for sure. And here right now on the Zoom. So much passion for this really great comic. I'm so happy it brought us together and like so many other people together. And my last question is on this massive Webtoon app with so many comics, are there any others that have caught your eye? Like what are you into? And if not on Webtoon, like what are y'all watching? Like what are you reading? What are you into right now?
Oh, what a good question. I think, yeah, I think, okay, so in terms of Webtoon, we loved Muted. Muted was so good. It's the first experience with one of them ending and being sad. Curse Princess Club is iconic. Love it. Stands. Punderworld is a classic. And then I also read a bunch of the like silly little funny ones like Adventures of God or Pixie and Brutus or whatever. But I think that I'm not currently into any other like long form ones besides the ones that I've mentioned, but I am open to changing that.
Yeah, the ones that I'm like a mega stan for besides Lore Olympus were Muted, Cursed Princess Club, and then Blades of Furry. I'm obsessed with Blades of Furry. I think it's brilliant.
Yes.
So those are like my top tier ones. But I do a lot of like dabbling where I'm like, currently 50 episodes behind or something, but I read it like in binge cycles. So like The Remarried Empress or like Let's Play, like I don't know. I've done a lot of dabbling. It's just a fun platform, especially it's like I'm waiting for the bus. I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't know. I love Webtoon.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm reading. Look at me.
Yeah, I'm accomplishing something.
I'm learning.
Yeah. I agree with all of those. First Princess Club was so great. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So fun, like
So
laugh
funny.
out loud funny.
And it had such
Like,
a strong mystery
ugh.
too with me. I was always wondering, what is she cursed or not? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
It's so good. Um, I
and you,
think otherwise we read a lot of books.
Mhm.
Yes, which Erin has always been a reader. She was like a precocious young child.
Yes.
I was a
I
child
hated
who
being
never picked up a
outside.
book. Yeah, I was not like that. I absolutely abhorred reading until I was like 25 or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, we both read a lot. Um, I read a lot of romance.
Mhm.
Erin reads like sci-fi, fantasy, a whole mix of things.
Yeah. But we really love a romantasy in this
Yeah,
two-person household of the two of us. We stan a
yeah,
romantasy.
yeah,
I love it too. I usually stick with young adult romantasy. Like, I love
Yeah.
Holly Black, The Cruel Prince. My favorite
yes.
Mhm.
stuff when I was in 5th grade, the librarian gave me Ella Enchanted, and I was like, I'm
Oh,
in the best place ever. And this is the best. She's so disobedient. I want to be like, even though she's ordered to be obedient, I just really loved Ella Enchanted with all my heart.
that's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Uh, did you hear Sam yell in the background? I hope that's fine. Okay, good.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
we didn't hear it.
A video game just happened.
Right.
Oh man, any TV shows that have captured both of your eyes?
I mean, I am like a creature of habit, so I love rewatching the same thing over and over again. Emphasis on Frasier. I watch a lot of Frasier. Um, it's not sexy, but it's the truth. So,
That's
Yeah,
so
I think. And Joe, you like aren't like this is since like 2015. There has nary been a 2-day period in which there was not just Frasier on at Zoe's house, wherever it was. Like it is an ongoing love affair.
that is her comfort show. It's Frasier. I mean, mine is the
it is.
still, right? Like in the
Mm,
A
background,
classic.
knowing most of the jokes at this point. But
Yeah.
yeah.
interesting. I just know the Frasier theme, like do 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 do.
Yep.
Classic.
Thinking about,
That sound gets the dopamine going. My own SSRI.
I think it was one of those shows that like the theme song would be rerunning on TV back when TV was watched in that way, where like
Right.
Yeah.
when you fell asleep, and I would hear the theme song and like wake up, and like I remember the black screen, and then it would just say like one sentence all the time.
Yup.
Yes.
Yup.
Yes.
Exactly.
What a show.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Love
Frasier.
Yeah. From Frasier. My comfort show is Parks and Rec. I love that. I live for it. I'm trying to think of like we currently Sam and we try to have like one drama and one like comedy at a time. But we've had a lot of comedies lately because the world is bad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
why do I want to be extra sad when
Amen.
I'm watching my TV? I want to be happy.
Amen.
So we've been watching Hacks on HBO. Love Hacks.
So good.
So good. We love What We Do in the Shadows. Sam spent like 10 years as a teacher. And so we have been watching a lot of Abbott Elementary. And it really like it's funny because some episodes will resonate with him too hard. And he'll be like, pause this. I need to decompress.
Yeah, Abbott Elementary is the only show where I've ever seen a school environment depicted somewhat realistically.
Yeah, I agree with that. My husband and I met as teachers. We were both teachers for
Oh,
Teach for America, and we're like, ooh, you gotta like plan out when you're watching Abbott.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's wild.
That's really
Wow.
cool.
Yeah, so love that show too. It's so funny. It's winning so many awards.
So funny.
It's really,
It's
really
brilliant.
good. Like, yeah, that
It's
makes
so
me
funny.
like Parks and Rec and The Office. We're gonna like Abbott Elementary too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It also like it has that wholesome energy that like is similar to I feel like that's how I feel about Parks and Rec too. It's like you don't often see like that level of like earnest, like good people trying really hard to like do good things and like be happy about it. And like Abbott also has that. And I'm just like, yes,
Oh yeah.
happiness.
Edge right now.
Good.
Yeah.
That's one of those
Yeah.
light, wonderful shows because a lot of things are super, super edgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Place. Like I've watched Breaking Bad and enjoyed it, but like I couldn't watch it as my comfort show, but some people can. I cannot.
Dude, I
Yeah.
also watched Breaking Bad, and enjoy is a strong word for the feelings that I had. Like, I can recognize that this is really good, and I do want to know what happens next, but I am actively unhappy at all times while consuming this media. I feel bad.
Breaking Bad. It's gonna make you feel bad. Really though, it's exactly right. It is very distressing from the very minute
Yes,
it starts until the very minute it ends in season 5. I cannot
literally, yes.
amount of stress I experience. But now that like I don't know, there's something about like when you go into a writer's room and you come back into it, it's like, oh, I'm just like breaking things apart and I don't really like enjoy media that way. That's why I like comics
Mm.
Yeah.
art. I'm not like thinking of Rachel like drawing all these panels. I'm just enjoying a story because I don't see
Yeah.
the scenes of it. But with TV, it's like a
Yeah.
little bit ruined for me at this time and place in my life.
That's interesting. And that makes sense. Like that's like how after law school it's like okay, you can't watch TV shows about law anymore because you're just like that's not right. That's wrong. Like
Doctors,
that's not how that goes.
Grey's Anatomy, like my friend's a doctor and she's like, I cannot watch. I cannot.
Right.
Would never happen
Yeah.
hospital. Like they are on season 20. Things have to happen. They run
Yeah.
out of ideas. Like they gotta throw something in there that's wild. She's like, a live animal would not run into this hospital and need surgery. You know what I mean? So we have to do what we have to do. But no, this was so much
Yeah.
talking to the both of you. I'm thrilled. I will email you and you'll email me the audio links. And I
Yes.
will email you when it's time for this to come out publicly. And I hope you all
Yeah.
both have a wonderful weekend. And I'm sad Laura Olympus is ending, but I'm happy Laura Olympus brought this together in the first place. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, thanks so much for having us on, Joe. Really, like we've been listeners for a long time. Like I'm sure your
Yeah.
podcast is the reason why I started reading many webtoons that I've dabbled in. So thank
Yeah.
you. Like I'm
well,
pretty sure I know for a fact that it is the reason why I started reading like Sub-Zero and like a bunch of different ones. So thank you for that. Like it's so nice to finally meet you.
yes, it has been
Yeah.
a pleasure.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah. It is
Hope we'll
so
talk
great.
to
I
you
feel like we're
soon.
meeting like royalty.
Yeah.